Got it.
Fifers arriving. Welcome to the Fifers. I'm Rocky. This is Gilly, and that's Little Tate. And we're gonna talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about in episode 54. And 54 is kind of an interesting number because in Atsugi, Japan, when I was a watch commander or an assistant watch commander, our call signs were 53 or 54. I have no idea why it was like that, but we just did that instead of saying watch commander. But anyways, who would like to begin?
Is that kind of like SEAL Team 6 where they just started with 6?
Maybe.
And then finally filled it in afterwards?
I mean, maybe they went off of like, OpNav. Like,
Yeah.
You had the OpNav 5000. What was the 5000 series of instructions?
Yeah, it went 5001 and then from there.
Well, like every number had a certain thing, right? So like an OpNav 5000, like the 5530.10 or whatever, which was like an MA1, it was about law enforcement operations. So it had to do with operations. It was like N1, N2, N3, N4, N5. Like N1 was admin, N2 was intelligence, N3 was like maybe operations or something like that. N4 was supply, and N5 was probably something like operations again. I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's the way that maybe someone along the line thought about that. I don't know.
I think it comes down to sometimes people just like the name because it's cool.
Why would you do 53 and 54?
Who knows, man?
I mean,
I'm sure there's an answer out there, but it's probably not going to be anything that's worth.
I would make
looking
my
up.
call sign 69.
Everything with you would be 69, Rocky.
I'm just playing. But
I can naturally have 69 since that's my zodiac symbol.
Oh, let's not get started on fucking horoscopes and how retarded people are that believe that shit.
I love that shit.
Oh, dude.
I love reading it because it's so ambiguous.
I think
It
it's
is.
funny, but there's a lot of women out there, especially now when you're trying to date them. They're like, "What's your horoscope or zodiac sign?" Who gives a fuck?
They actually believe that the zodiac signs and horoscope actually like is real. Not understanding that there's a occult influence or a satanic influence on their lives. And they're trying to look at this thing as for guidance when it's not really going to give you any guidance at all. It's going to make you live with this thing called fatalism or determinism or something like that. And it's stupid. So if anybody's watching, boys, stay away from the girls that believe that stuff.
Put you some crystals up, man, if you want to track that kind of girl.
There ain't no shit.
But if they believe in that stuff, they're going to believe in even crazier stupid shit.
Look at their eyes when they light up.
By the way, did you guys see that picture of Bonnie Blue?
No.
There was a
No.
picture of her, and you see she has really pretty blue eyes, right? But if you look at her eyes, it's the thousand cock stare. And it's
It's got the 1,000-yard stare, 1,000 cock stare.
well, I mean, think about it. She's had that much, right?
Yeah.
Like she's practically dead inside. Yeah, she's living and her body works and all that, but her soul, her spirit, and whatever that is, it's been crushed. I mean, how many people have you been with? Now you have soul ties to everybody. How can you end up with like a person and be
That's what-
satisfied with that
that's-
if you've had all of that? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's a bad move for a guy to even take that on and accept it.
Well, that's why they call the vagina the soul snatcher.
Soul Snatcher 5000 or whatever it is. I know.
Soul Snatcher 3000.
I remember seeing something on TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Someone was like, "That's the Soul Snatcher, whatever, blah, 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 blah." And it was pretty funny, and it was kind of true. It was also sad.
It is.
Right.
I think the days of that power that they have is coming to an end.
Oh, it is too. Definitely.
It's coming to an end because when you have all that stuff in their favor and you take a risk and can risk ruining your life to the point where you want to start a 9mm, it's probably not worth it anymore, boys. Like, I'm being serious and I'm not joking about it. It's like, I mean, I saw guys on my ship that dealt with that crap.
Yep.
And this was while I was in the Navy, so I did not understand the gender dynamic thing that's going on right now, because Heidi and I had always gotten along, right?
Yep.
We were like normal compared to everybody fucking else. And I didn't realize that. I thought everyone was like that, but then I kept on meeting people on my ship that were just having marriage problems. And I remember I met this one senior chief and he's like, I'm MGTOW. I'm like, what the fuck is MGTOW? Because I heard about it before, but I never looked into it. He's like, he told me, he's a senior chief. He's like, I can't afford to get an apartment. I can barely afford to pay alimony to my wife who cheated on me. And we have 3 kids together. All I can do is live on the ship and eat the ship's food. And I was like, he's like, I'm never gonna open my heart to another woman again. I
Well, that
can't
shit
do
was
it.
going on
I
in the
can't.
five with us. We had, a lot of people got Dear John letters, whether they's fucking married or engaged or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see it though.
Guess
I
not.
guess I guess I was oblivious to that because I didn't see it all the time because I was doing something else.
I mean, look at a lot many of those fucking girls that was married, right, on the ship, having an affair with other fucking people.
Oh, I know. I
You
know.
know, that shit worked both ways, right there. You know,
I know. And now it's all on the fucking internet for everyone to see, and the censors can't censor it fast enough.
and that's why it's becoming prevalent now. Because even though it's been around for fucking generations, now everybody's talking about it now on the internet because everything's out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I know. And I almost think it's going to be a fulfillment of a prophecy in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 3, where it says, where, he's talking to Eve, Jesus or God is talking to Eve in the garden. It says, your desire will be for your husband, which means you will desire to rule and dominate your husband, but he will rule over you.
Well, it's just like
Because
what
eventually the shoe's going to drop, the foot's going to drop, and it's going to be like there's no love, there's no protection, there's nothing until we get love and respect. If you don't respect us, you don't get protection. If you don't like us, you get nothing from us but indifference. So good luck
here.
when you
This
ask
was
for help. Because if you ask me for help, you're going to pay me money for my time. Just like you do on TikTok, where you're like, you need to pay me $500 because I put makeup on. No, go fuck yourself, you fucking dumbass. You put makeup on anyways.
see this one grows. Remember that one that Hodges Thumper sent out earlier to the group?
Mm-hmm.
I know Little Tate could watch it because it was on Facebook.
You gonna play it?
Yeah. Oh, stop that. I did hit the share with sound. We should do it automatically.
We need to do like, hey, we don't own this stuff. We're just using this as an example of a real life illustration of what's going on.
Yep.
This is a great tool for people.
Women's lack of access to, I suppose in some states, evidence of an inequality between men and women.
Because it's
What's the video
blatantly
at?
refusing their right to bodily autonomy.
Bodily autonomy? What about the bodily autonomy of men when it comes to being drafted? Wouldn't that be a case of men being
No
oppressed?
video showing, buddy.
I mean, yeah, but who created that system?
Why would that matter?
What do you mean?
I've heard this one.
I can't see it.
Watch your screen.
No, it's not on the screen, bro.
It's not on there.
Well,
There you go.
Yeah, now you got it.
inequality between men and women?
Because it's blatantly refusing their right to bodily autonomy.
Bodily autonomy? What about the bodily autonomy of men when it comes to being drafted? Wouldn't that be a case of men being oppressed and women not being?
I mean, yeah, but who created that system?
Why would that matter? Let's say it was a king or a queen who invented that system yesterday. What would that have to do with the fact that right now, today, me and Brian can't do anything about that? Aren't we oppressed by that system?
Depends. How old are you?
Right now, I'm 40.
I don't think you would be drafted.
Yes. In fact, the draft can be accelerated up to 70, like it is in the Ukraine and in Russia right this second.
Wasn't there talk about making the draft for females too?
That's nice that you're talking about it, but it's not the case. You say you don't have any bodily autonomy, but neither do I.
Do you have to grow another person inside of you? And then
I'm sorry, do you have to go die in a war?
No, I don't have to, but I can
Okay,
choose.
great. But I can be drafted, you can't.
You could always break your leg too.
You can always just not take jizz in your... I mean, sorry.
He's right. He's fucking right.
I was gonna stop it right there because it's like 4 minutes long. Fuck all that shit.
Like,
But
he's right. Like, he's right. He's like, we have to get drafted. We can't vote or own property if we don't sign up for the Selective Service. But you have people that say they're being oppressed by the people that have to go fight wars because you disagree with them, because they're fucking retarded, because they trust their fucking emotions more than they trust what's right and what's morally wrong and what's fucking common sense. And like, I don't care if I make people mad. They can get mad at me all they want, but they can't change the fact that that's what is the truth. Oh, that's a funny one, dude. So sad.
Robert said, I broke up my boyfriend who loved his son. Oh, shit.
I'll read it out loud for people that can't, obviously if they're not watching, but broke up with my boyfriend who loved me so I could hook up with my coworker that I've had a huge crush on since forever, who just got out of a 3.5-year relationship, all to get pumped and dumped. I won't go to read the rest of it, but
you know what that's an illustration of, boys? That's an illustration of someone thinking they're going to monkey branch to someone that actually wants them. See, I don't think that the other side, they do not understand how we value them. They really don't. And they refuse to understand or learn or listen. And they're going to continue to make these stupid fucking decisions because they're not able to see anything. They're just going to blame us for what they choose to do. Like the guy got out of a relationship. He wanted to bone her. He boned her and dumped her. She ruined a relationship with a guy that probably loved her a lot, probably treated her right, for a guy she wanted to fuck. And he fucked her twice and then he dumped her ass. Now, what do you think? I would love to hear the guy that got dumped and cheated on for that, how he feels about women, how he thinks about women. Is he watching the Red Pill channels on YouTube? Is he learning something to say, hey, I'm never going to love a girl again so much that I cannot think straight. I'm never going to have the rose-colored glasses on again. I'm never going to sit there and give them the benefit of the doubt because of what happened to me. And it may sound calloused and mean that I say that, but if more men do that, there's going to be less problems. Oh, Jordan Peterson. That dude, I saw something about him arguing atheists. I never watched it. But apparently he got destroyed by atheists. Yeah. Which is the dumbest thing you can do because they don't know anything.
Well, I just wanted to point that out because Jordan Peterson was a focal point for a lot of men that were going through those relationships. And as you see him basically digressing over the years, that's basically what he's turned into, is a fucking clown.
He is a clown. I mean, the funniest thing is like when you watch the Red Pill channels or whatever, the channels that men watch, because men are trying to help other men to avoid the pitfalls that happen when you get involved with a woman nowadays, especially a woman that has a certain belief system that all men should avoid. Every man should avoid them. Never date them, never help them, maybe say hi and bye to them or be professional with them if they work with them, but they should never, ever get involved with them. There's no reason to, right? If they're strong and independent, why do they need my help? they can do it all on their own, right?
Yeah.
So it's this thing like I remember someone said Andrew Tate had sex with his daughter and she has a kid by that guy. Female prison officer who tried to get pregnant with exceptionally dangerous rapist and had sex with him with 40 times on duty avoids jail. How is that even right?
Yeah, that shit happens all the time in the prison system, man.
I know, but how is it okay that she can do that and the guy that gets cheated on gets fucked over?
Well, it's just like
He
the
has to
guys.
pay the bill for a chick that cheats on him
Yeah.
and prostitutes herself out to someone else. He has to pay money to someone he can't even have sex with.
You see,
Like,
she should be fucking jailed over that because if a male prison guard did that to a female prisoner,
oh, it would be all up in arms, dude.
he would be in prison too,
Yeah, he would.
guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, you know what would really change things is if
Women start getting held accountable for the shit, same as
well,
men do. Plain
if
simple.
people if they started doing 100%, every kid that's born gets a DNA test.
Yeah.
And they tested the supposed father and the mother. And if the father doesn't match the kid,
Yeah.
that father, supposed father, should not have to pay any money to a kid that's not his. Just because she gave birth to it does not mean it's only her child.
You
He
remember
inserted the coin and got a Coke out of the machine.
well, you remember how, the talk shows back in the day, right? Like Mary and all that did the DNA test. 80% of the men that they tested, you was not the daddy.
I know. I mean, I remember seeing that stuff in the 90s before I went in the Navy and, Maury Povich saying,
Yeah.
has been determined to be a lie. He is not the father. And then the girl runs around and it's like WWF. And it's like,
Yeah.
how many times have we seen this and we still give these people the benefit of the doubt?
I do want to cut in on one though. After showing the jail one, there's one, and a lot of what I'm pulling, thanks to Legion of Men. These are just like meme posts, but this goes for men too. Like this one's fucked up, and it's like we're talking about integration and like how all of these. But a Congolese migrant dubbed poster boy for integration jailed in Germany for raping his own mother.
Are you kidding me? That's disgusting. What the hell? That guy needs to be held accountable, and he probably needs to be put to death.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I mean, I don't give a shit if you don't believe in the Bible. That's wrong. You don't do that to other people. You especially don't do that with your mom, your sister, your aunt, your brother, your whatever, right? You don't do that. That is just wrong.
Now, if it's a third cousin, right? I ain't talking about the rape part, but if it's at least a third cousin, you're safe.
8 degrees of separation, man. 8 degrees of separation.
You know what? Here's the weird thing, guys. Here's the truth. Everyone on planet Earth right now, or on the flat Earth, whatever you fucking believe, I don't care. It could be flat, it could be round. It could be round and flat at the same time because it's a circle. Who knows? But anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong to do that stuff.
It's wrong, okay? It's just wrong.
Don't say fuck, say okay. Okay. Okay.
And it
bad, okay. Incest is bad, okay. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, why are people doing that stuff? Is it
culture,
that bad?
Man. It's culture and
they're fucked in the head too. It's
my question to people that actually are like commentators, if they ever saw this, how is any of the stuff going on right now progressing people forward?
It's not.
Is it progressing people? Or is it making people go back to like animal instinct and lizard fucking brain shit and becoming stupid fucks that you can control? Because all they think about is sex. And that's both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this happened in Germany too.
Yeah, like, come on. Outrage in Germany after Afghan migrant who was arrested for raping an 11-year-old was released after 12 days, then raped another. Come on. Put that guy to death.
That's what a lot of these people are talking about is like, they try to come in and they don't assimilate. They use
No,
what
they,
they
they
have.
don't. They don't because they are in a jihad. They are in a holy war or a struggle like Mein Kampf. It's almost my struggle, my war. They're on a war with people that don't have the same belief system as them. And then when you mix these people, they don't try to find common ground. And because one of these societies is not necessarily backwards on some of their beliefs, but they're backwards and messed up on a lot of them, they give them excuse. And then you have all the libtards. That's right. I called you liberals fucking libtards, you fucking retards. Is this okay? Where are the feminists that want to complain about this shit?
Yeah, where's the
Why are
females that
you?
we?
Here's my question to all you feminists,
Yeah.
the males and the females. Why don't you go to Iraq, Iran, in Afghanistan, and all those places where you say that everyone's being oppressed because none of the girls are oppressed in America? They're not oppressed in Australia. They're not oppressed in Western Europe. Why aren't you fighting for freedom for those girls? Or are you afraid that if you go out there, they're going to cut your goddamn fucking head off?
But they want to run their mouths here and say, well, we're for the gays. Let the gays do whatever they want. No, fuck that. If you're really worried about women, like Rocky said, get your ass over there to fucking Middle East.
Like besides all the sexual orientation crap, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to fuck a giraffe. I don't care if you want to fuck a tree or if you want to sit on a fence and hump it. What do you do as a person? Are you a person that tries to help other people and society and enrich it and make it a better place? Are you just someone that is so selfish that you try to justify your desires by mental fucking gymnastics that don't make any sense?
Well, that was the thing that I heard the other day.
Mental gymnastics?
Well, yeah, liberal hive mind was talking about, let everybody kind of live the way they want to, turns into a slippery slope because it was talking about Pride Month, and it became like you do your own thing in your private room to being forced to accept and do everything that we say we do into power. They got a taste of that power when they were putting up the pride flags on all the, company logos and all that thing. And it became like forced, and it was in schools, and it became,
You know what
a
that's
forced
called?
agenda, not so much as accepting, but forced.
You know what that's called? It's called fascism.
Yeah. Imagine that.
It's fascism. And what's so funny, dude, is like I didn't start paying attention to anything until 2015, 2016, right? And in 2017, when I was in DC at the Washington Retard Navy Yard, because that place was retarded, I got to see the stupidity in Washington, DC, the capital of the United States of America, the District of Columbia, which isn't even a part of the United States that runs our fucking nation. They can't even get their fucking shit straight. And they're going to tell me what to do? No. Go fuck yourself.
Well, Tex, you got that clip
Which one?
of the AI?
Yeah, I can pull it up. Give me a second.
But the
I didn't
AI
know.
of what?
The one we showed us earlier.
Oh, the fake AI fucking with Donald Trump.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trump's name. I was gonna let people.
Oh, the deep fake or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, right after that, though, is Melanie Mack, and she says something that's even a little bit more, I would say, controversial.
This would be the message that.
Okay, hold on. I was queuing it up again after we watched it. So everybody knows this is coming from Adam Mark Dice's, and if you watch Mark Dice, you know how.
Mark Dice is pretty cool. Yeah.
So he's got an AI of President Trump talking about Pride Month for June.
President Trump would make, but this is just a deep fake parody, a meme.
My fellow Americans, It is with great pleasure that I am announcing that Pride Month is canceled. Pride is a sin, and we will no longer participate in deliberate moral inversions. Instead, June will be known as Confidence Month, or maybe just June.
Yeah.
Who knows? In either case, it'll be a time for us to celebrate legitimate achievements worthy of reflection. I hate to break it to some people, but putting a wiener in a butt shouldn't be on anyone's highlight reel. Very unhygienic. Love is love. That's what they say. However, poop is poop, folks. Poop is poop.
Man.
That's right, sir.
Now, I'll play Melanie Max. And Melanie Max, I don't know about her.
Who's this? I've never even heard of this person.
So she used to be a gamer, and she got it. She used to be a gamer. She streamed games on Twitch and stuff.
Is she actually good?
I don't know. I didn't find out about her until I was watching the quartering, and they had her on. And I don't know, man. She seems like she's got soulless eyes to me.
What, like the thousand cock stare?
Demonic left. Nobody captures the sentiment of what normal people feel every time June rolls around than this gamer chick, Melanie Mack.
Everybody talks about black fatigue, and I get it. But can we also talk about fat fatigue? Especially with June rolling around the corner.
So she's talking about fatigue. You know, how the black.
I've been seeing a lot of that. Like there was that girl that was flipping off a dude and calling him the N-word because another person that was
like, can y'all just
another skin color was stealing something from her son, and she was like, "Fuck you all."
Yeah.
Like it's starting to come around. Like it's not going to be pretty if people don't start fucking acting right. They're going to have a war on their hands.
Well, that's what they want.
I know.
That's what they want.
And I'm hoping that people wise up to this crap and this manipulation and this psychological operation, otherwise known as a psyop, to keep everyone divided so they can control you. You know, hey, don't get mad at me because I tell you the truth. Why don't you listen to me, and maybe I'll help you out, and maybe you'll be able to think a little better. Think clearly. Oh, God.
So we got this coming up, right? This is what we're seeing out of the Army, the picture. Now he goes to talk about celebrating and stuff, but it's like everybody forgets what June has in it. You know, behind me, if you don't know what that is, that's D-Day. The storming of Normandy is tomorrow.
It was the 4th. The 4th was the Battle of Midway, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday, yes.
Yeah, the Battle of Midway, an important battle for World War II so that everyone could not speak German or Japanese.
That was the turning point of us in the Pacific when we had that 4-day battle.
It was. And then what? Tomorrow is Normandy,
D-Day.
right?
Yes.
D-Day.
D-Day, man.
Yes.
And that was very important for the European theater.
Yeah. And also, speaking of D-Day, too, a lot of famous people at that time, whether it be Major League ball players, actors, golfers, they signed up. They put their careers on hold to go serve, like Yogi Berra did when he was first coming up with the Yankees, right? He was in his prime. He put it on hold to go serve. He was actually at D-Day in the Navy. You know, Bobby Jones, golfer, famous golfer, right? He was age 40. Henry Fonda did the same bullshit, too. You know, a lot of them did.
Yeah, and it goes back to the beginning of what we were talking about. You know, conscripting into the military, you know, being drafted.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys didn't draft. They cared about their country because, you know, that was the 1950s nuclear family. And they didn't want communism and fascism coming to the United States where freedom was fought for. There was thousands and thousands of men that died storming that beach.
Yeah. But that just names a few, like the Major League players. There's a lot more, like Joe DiMaggio served World War II. Fucking Ted Williams did too, you know. But D-Day, that was the one that turned the war for us in the Europe right there.
Right.
I mean, I will never forget watching Saving Private Ryan in 1998, watching that shit.
Yep.
And how like, it was really realistic because I remember watching an interview by Steven Spielberg saying he talked to his father who fought in World War II about what it was like at Normandy. And they made it so good that every fucking gun sounded different. So if you had a like, these aren't the guns that were there. If you had a M2 fucking 50 cal, it had a certain sound.
Yep.
If you had a 25 Mike, it
Yep.
sounded different.
Yep.
Everything sounded different because that was reality. You know what I mean? That was what the bullets and the gunshots actually sounded like. And to see that carnage, for people to watch that, especially today, to see that carnage and what happened and know that there was only men fighting that war, and then for women to go and say that you're oppressed because you disagree with me because I want to sleep with 1,000 men and I want you to marry me and give me a house and give me a car, and then 2 years later, after you give me 2 kids, I'm going to divorce you and take all your money. No, no, that's wrong. No, absolutely not. You get nothing.
I was like that old World War II vet, that old guy that started crying. I don't know if you ever, the decorated guy that this isn't what we fought for type stuff.
I spilled my coffee.
But to me, that's what Jude. But Jude, that's what should be celebrated. Jude, not because you're gay. No one gives a fuck that you're gay. No one does.
I don't care if you want to live that way.
But it's the shit that's fucking the military shit needs to be fucking celebrated more.
I would look at it this way. Look, I don't care that you want to do that with a certain kind of person.
Nope.
You would not be able to do that with that person if this war was not won.
Yeah, by bid.
And it's like how do you not understand and see this? How do you not grasp this? Yep. It's right there for you to freaking see, and you still don't understand. You won't acknowledge. You won't acknowledge anything. It's like, I don't know.
Right now, there's footage from the Imperial War Museum, just playing in the background, and just how this operation itself was getting going.
Yeah,
you know, the amount of manpower that was out there to make sure this happened. You know, this goes on for about 7 minutes, but this is actual footage from that day itself. And like Rocky's saying, like different gun sounds, and you know, you can see the different, you know, guns that are on naval ships, what they carried, what they were going up against, the bunkers themselves, pillboxes, you name it, you know.
It's like I don't understand how these people don't understand what people actually sacrifice. A lot of people lost their lives so that they could be free. They paid the fucking ultimate price, and you still have no respect for anybody. I mean, Memorial Day has passed, but that doesn't mean you forget everybody after Memorial Day. You should still remember those people because they did something that you don't even have the balls to do, or the ovaries. You don't have the ovaries or the balls to do it. You can't even figure out if you're a guy or a girl. Shut the fuck up.
I think there's some in here of the actual landing too.
And they kicked off. I thought they kicked off fucking the Pride Month of June the right way, right? With Reed David, the USNS Harvey Milk. You know, if they go to Reed David Chancellor, right, another ship because they had Confederate ties, then we don't need a gay fucking boat named after a gay guy who got kicked out of the fucking Navy and career for being gay.
That would be like naming a ship called the USS Fred Durst.
And there's a lot that's controversy that surrounds Harvey Milk with, you know, being
pedo.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes behind that too. It's not just, you know, they only picked on the one thing that he was the first, you know, gay guy in the military or Navy.
Or actually held office, what they went for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't realize he was in Korea on a boat. A lot of people did not realize that. You know.
It's like that other ship they named after that woman that got shot in Arizona. And
Yeah.
her husband was an astronaut. Like, she never served in the military. She wasn't like the Sullivans. All the Sullivans brothers that died in World War II, so they named the ship called the USS Sullivans.
Yep.
Why is she getting a name for when she never served in the United States Navy.
Yep.
She was never a president. She was
They
never
should-
a senator. She was never anything to the military. She was
So
just
they
some
used-
kind of Congress or senator that probably voted for stupid shit.
Well, that's why she got shot in the fucking head.
I think she's still alive though, right?
I would
Yeah.
like to personally call out Grace Hopper, though. I'll give her the credit, the benefit of the doubt, since she has the bug coin name for computers forever. Remember that story?
No, you got to tell me this one.
So I think if I remember right, Grace Hopper, she was like an electronics officer, and they kept having trouble with the computers on board the ship. So she's like cleaning out the computer and everything, and she finds an actual bug in the computer that's shorting out, the cards itself. So she coined the term, there's just bugs in the computer. And you hear that often all the time,
that is
in
true.
computer,
That is very
there's a
true.
bug in the computer. I think she went on to be an admiral. I'd have to look it up. But, somebody that was actually contributing to the war effort, serving, coining this, a very smart individual.
Serving honorably and not
Yeah, all that. I'll
manipulation
pull her
and
up
all
really
the other
quick.
race card, gender card, fucking sexual orientation
She
card.
went
religious
she went
card,
through all that back then.
Huh?
She went through all that back then.
Yeah, I mean, but like nowadays, everybody's got a card, and I would tell people when they did that, I said, "You better knock that goddamn shit off."
Yeah.
I'm every fucking race in the world. My last name hails from fucking Moroccan Africa in Spain. That's Africa, right?
Yeah.
I'm Spanish, I'm English, I'm French, I'm German, I'm British, I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, I'm Mexican, I'm Romanian, and I'm fucking Chinese.
Did you get your 23andMe?
No, because I don't want them having my DNA to fucking frame me on
They
something.
already got it, dude. It's nothing new. We're in the military. I don't know why you're scared about it, dude. How many blood samples have they taken and sold us off?
I don't think they're looking. I don't think they have the DNA for that reason.
No, they could. You never know.
For DNA. I think they want that DNA because they're trying to bring something back that was ancient.
Well, I think part of Super Soldier too.
Yes, it
Because
is.
there are certain
Part of that.
genes that people have. Yeah,
It's part of that, and it's part of something that's actually biblical. And I can't prove it, but there was a Blurry Creatures episode where they talked about the breeding program that was on Mount Hermon.
yeah. She did make Rear Admiral lower half.
Good
The
for
key-
her.
The thing is, though, is what she was known for too was you could simplify programming, English-based computer programming language. So she was doing programming.
Yep.
Starting back, man. She started in 1944, right around fucking World War II. Imagine that.
And she actually did something that was of importance. And
Yeah.
she did her job, and she got promoted. And I think everybody that knew her respected her for it.
I heard that she was like a real bat, dude, an old bat, man. Like she didn't fuck around. She would fuck you up, male, female, it doesn't fucking matter. Equal opportunities for real, not just the feminist taking one side. She fucked up everybody.
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen is because of the F word, feminism, is a lot of men don't want to do anything for women anymore because there's no point in doing something for someone that hates you.
Well, and that was I don't know if you've seen in California lately with the trans athlete that women are finally standing up and fighting back against it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming out to tell everybody, like the feminists, like women, you ruined it. Women, by actually applauding this, is what ruined women's sports. You did.
I didn't want to watch women's sports anyways, but now because of that, I have even less interest in watching it. I don't even watch sports now anyways because of what the NFL did with Colin Kaepernick. I stopped watching the NFL when that stupid goddamn fucking idiot did that stupid shit. And then Nike was like, believe in yourself.
Now, see, I got pissed because of what France did on the 2024 Olympics because I love gymnastics. I love watching women swing around on poles and dance and doing some fucking leg splits very athletically. So for me, I love gymnastics, loved it since a kid. Okay. Call it whatever you want to, but those women are beautiful. So they ruined that for me with their fucking shenanigans with what they tried to pull the Last Supper shit. So fuck all you motherfuckers and ruining my 2024 gymnastics fucking viewing pleasure.
Oh, I got something to say about that. You know how like on TikTok you have all these women that say we need men to worship us because we're a goddess.
Bitch, you ain't no gosh, you're just a tramp that we picked up on the fucking side of the road.
You actually know what that is in biblical terms? That's called blasphemy. Making yourself equal with God because you're prideful. I think someone got struck down and fell to the earth in a bolt of lightning because of that pride. So what do you think is going to happen to you women? And you men that worship the created thing and not the creator?
Right.
You need, like, one day it just popped in my head. I see all these TikToks and everything, and I'm like, or on YouTube, and it's like, men need to worship us and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know what? No, you're a blasphemer. Remember when that fucking Jewish priest fucking ripped his thing because Jesus said, I am the Father in one. Before Abraham was, I am, in John 8:58. He was Yahweh. He's Yahweh in human form, and he actually proved it by raising from the dead. What are you girls proving? You're
I could
proving
put
once you die,
$500
you're
worth of
dead.
makeup on and $200 worth of hair and nails.
And that's another thing too. You know, they say men lie, women, you fucking lie by putting makeup on. That's the biggest lie of all.
I never realized that. It's like I like makeup, right? It enhances the natural beauty of a woman. But deep down inside, I would rather see the natural beauty of a woman than to see it all enhanced.
Well, some of them be cheating, man, because that contour makeup now takes somebody that's like 60 years old and make them look 30.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Or if they get bad acne and all that shit, right?
Yeah,
oh,
like it's like, how can you say you want someone that's an honest man when you're doing that?
You hear that like facial hair is our makeup?
Oh,
no,
I guess
this is natural. This actually grows. Makeup was developed by Azazel in the book of Enoch to use as deception.
I got some.
And guess what? In the book of Leviticus, the fucking scapegoat's name is Azazel, who's locked somewhere underneath the rocks in the Middle East, either under the Euphrates River or in Dilmun, which is in Bahrain or somewhere near Saudi Arabia. This guy's been locked up for a couple thousand years now. And I remember that movie Fallen?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say.
He's in the movie Fallen, right?
Yeah,
but he's been in prison the whole time. So if you know that the angels that sinned are in prison, they're like mafia bosses. They tell everyone that's under them because they have a military ranking system, unlike the community that other people think, there's got to be a shot caller. This guy calls the shots from prison.
Yep.
And so someone posed as Azazel, which keeps his name alive and then gives him power or something like that. It's really crazy when you think about that. But it's like, you guys, like people, start reading some books. Start learning.
I got something that will, you know how you see girls got freckles, right? You're never going to look at a red-headed freckle girl ever again the same after this.
Really?
Are you sure about that?
It's funny. Trust me. It ain't no video, it's just a post. He was my world until he sneezed when I was eating his ass. See the freckles?
Yeah. So wrong.
Look how pretty her eyes are.
I know, but like you'll never look at a freckle girl and say, like, whose ass did she eat?
Oh man. But besides the fact, women, we love you. We love you more than you understand. We just don't want you to be acting the way that you do.
We're being some whiny little bitches, that's all.
No, I mean it's sad. It's sad. It's like we want you.
There's a lot of men that are whiny little bitches too.
I know, but sometimes
there are a lot of
females need to be put in their fucking place because they'll be overstepped, and then they'll cry, "Oh, I don't know why guys won't help me because you think you fucking bad. No.
How many times did you say, don't approach us, don't talk to us, leave us the fuck alone? We don't want to talk to you. Don't ever talk to me in the gym. And then your car breaks down and you have a flat tire and you expect me to help you? Not after
Exactly.
that shit in fucking Australia where that guy helped that girl with a flat tire and then she falsely accused him of rape and then he got his life fucking ruined. The cops knew it. It was on fucking video and the cops did not put it out in court.
Yeah.
That proves the government is corrupt. That's a tyrannical government and they should be disbanded. They should be put in jail for fucking lying. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
I think a lot of people do agree. They just don't want to speak out against it.
I'll speak out against it all the fucking time, but I'm a nobody.
I'm somebody.
I mean, I'm not anyone important. I'm just a regular guy, right? But I think for myself. Well, these are comic books, but I have another background with other books that you'll get real knowledge from. Knowledge, understanding, and maybe some fucking wisdom.
Right.
Wisdom.
Now, we all know after boot camp how some people have food aggression, right? You know,
Had what?
You ever had boot camp, you don't have so much time to eat, right?
Yeah.
And there are some guys that didn't eat fast to start, right?
Yeah.
And then you see them later on, they have food aggression because they're like, no, I ain't done. Can't take this away, right? Or someone trying to eat off their plate. I know me personally, I can't stand when a woman tries to eat off my fucking plate. No, you got your fucking plate. If you want mine, you should order what I ordered. This next one I'm getting ready to play, it's not that. I don't have to play no sound or anything on this one. It just, can you see it, Rocky?
Yeah, I can now.
And she's just going for his phone.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Mandatory fun day.
And he's just going, she was going for her phone. He's like, bitch, she didn't get my food. You know,
I don't see any problem if you wanted to share, like, hey, would you like a piece? But your offering is different than taking.
Have you seen those videos, guys, where they have like a guy and a girl and they're eating at a restaurant together and he's reaching for like the salt or a drink and her cell phone's right there and she grabs her phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the guy fucking realizes like she's cheating on me.
A lot of the Asian, it's like Asian skits. But the thing is, like, a lot of those are skits, man. I don't believe in 99% of any of the TikTok short stuff out there because it's like scripted for a story.
It is scripted. But what's crazy is like when you watch like Strong Successful Male, there's stories about girls hiding their cell phones, getting an extra cell phone to cheat on their boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Stories themselves, not
the stories. I think what happens is the people hear the stories from Reddit or people that write into these channels, then they hear it and they make a skit out of it.
Yeah, I could agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's life. It's art imitating actual real life.
Yeah.
And it's
this is like when Hustler, right? They had all those stories, men would write or women write in the Hustler, right?
Velvet letters, man. Velvet
their
letters.
Stories, right? Dude, where do you think some of the porn videos got their ideas from? You know? Same thing.
Oh, that's a deeper story than that.
Dude, that goes way deeper and it's way more wicked.
Hey,
that's what
But little Tank Kid, he watched free porn in fucking Virginia unless you buy it.
They've closed off Pornhub in quite a few places, man.
You know what? You know why they're trying to make porn illegal and so men can't watch it, right?
So we can procreate, make babies again.
Yeah, but why would a man want to procreate with a woman that's going to fuck him over? She's going to fuck him over, most likely.
You're still going to have men that do it.
Okay, there's a 50-50 chance she's going to fuck you over and ruin your life. If you were skydiving out of an airplane with a parachute and you had a 50-50 chance of that parachute working right or wrong, would you take that chance?
Well,
no, because I know of a guy that chute didn't open as a kid, and he fucking was in the field just over the way, like 4 foot down in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta put some practicality in this. If
Yeah.
they're trying to make pornography illegal, which is probably a good thing because it is ruining a lot of things.
It's ruined a lot of men's psyche.
Well, yeah, because you have these girls that do these amazing things on film, right? They do it, but they're getting money for it. But in the meantime, they're still getting fucked. They're still getting a million dicks in them. They're still not able to pair bond. They're not worthy of being a girlfriend or a wife or anything, unless you start your relationship out like that, which is kind of sick in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Or unless you're, hold on, I got one.
You have a lot of porn stars, male, married, the female ones, and all that shit. You know, you do.
I know, but if
they gotta be.
Work, I mean, good for them, but
it's all financial thing. They're making millions of dollars. They're making millions of dollars, right? It's more like a financial thing, really. What I see sometimes.
It is
on that end of it.
But the fact that they're trying to make that illegal tells me they are trying to get men and women to get back together again, and the men don't want to do it because the men are waking up.
Shit, we all had fucking porn on the ships, man. I had a fucking whole binder of fucking porn videos.
I know. But like what I'm saying is like because men are just looking to that to get their needs met with their own body parts, it's not going to pay for restaurant, dinners, movies, and gifts and rings and wedding dresses. So it's crumbling a lot of the economy because the economy runs on that crap. But what the people that are in charge of the economy don't realize, if they don't fix this shit, they're not going to have more people. But, on the other side, you want people to be born so they can be slaves for your system. So it's like, what do you want? What do you really want? Do you want to control people? Do you want to control the population? Do you want to make everyone divided so you can control the population again? Or do you want to lower the human race down to 500,000 people like the Georgia Guidestones said?
Well, a lot of people
forget about all that crap.
A lot of people, men and women, a lot of people, men and women too, speak on the economy of the fucking, like the wedding shit, right? A lot of them said, fuck that shit. I don't need a $high dress, $high ring at all. They're going to the courthouse more and more.
I wanted to piggyback on what Rocky just said from the Gateway Pundit. The Democrat rep says it out loud. If we don't have avenues for foreigners, so we're talking about people doing work, to come around here, we're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses. So it's very similar to that. You know what I mean? That's why they're cheap labor. We've created this whole situation.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is like, men have realized that marriage doesn't benefit them.
Mm.
What do you actually gain from it besides more debt, more heartache, more pain? Because everybody's going to take her side, even though she may be doing everything wrong. She's going to get rewarded for it, and you're going to get put in jail or put to debt. Basically, you're going to be so poor, you have to live in your car, and you're going to put a bullet in your head. How is that right? And then you're killing someone that could actually defend the country because they're the ones that get drafted. It's a vicious fucking cycle, and I don't think people see it. You ruin the men's lives that would actually defend the country. Then you tell the men, we hate you because you're men, because you're masculine, and because you want certain things. We hate you. So now we're not going to do anything for you, but you have to do everything for us. When I say jump, you say how high. No, it's not going to be like that. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think that men as a whole are going to wake up and they're going to be fucking pissed off. They're going to be pissed off because 150 years of manipulation for that shit, and they're going to take their vengeance out on everybody. Even the guys that are like that.
Yep.
And it's going to be an ugly bloodbath. And I wish I could prevent it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk sense into people.
I think, and if people are really paying attention to the Ukraine-Russian war, you see the conscriptions. The conscriptions themselves are going down over there.
Yeah, because all the guys are fucking dying, right?
Well, and a lot of them are fleeing too, so they can't be fucking conscripted.
Yeah.
Can you blame them? I mean, look at what happened, dude. The Ukraine war breaks out. All the girls from Ukraine go to Miami, Florida. They end up on Fresh and Fit and talk about what stupid idiots they are. And then the guys, they're like, the girls leave their husbands, go fuck other guys in Miami. The guy dies in war. She gets the benefits. How in the fuck is that even right? SGLI kind of shit. How is that okay?
It's not.
It's not. And they're still letting it happen. And now people are talking about it, but the right people that have the right connections are not getting stuff done for it. It's like, I wish I could become a fucking senator or something.
Oh, wait. I got one. Men are turning into little bitches. I got to share this one because this is the news right now. This is between Elon and fucking Donald Trump, dude. It's getting fucking good, man. Of course, from the Gateway Pundit. Fucking Elon Musk shares the video of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein at party with NFL cheerleaders. They're going toe to toe with each other, fucking trying to shit on each other.
And this is all over a bill for money?
Yeah,
the spender bill.
Dude, you guys are all fucking rich. Are you taking that money when you fucking die?
No. Elon's pissed at Trump because everything Doge did, right, to show him where this waste and abuse has been, right? And his bill could add $5 trillion to the deficit instead of taking away?
Yeah.
That's what Elon's pissed about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's pissed.
This is the meme they came up with. So money Doge to save the government and then Trump's big, beautiful bill. And he's right. He's not wrong. You start going through that bill, dude, and it's like he had all this money saved, put everything on track, and then they come up with this pork fat from all the rhinos and everybody else, and Trump isn't following along with it. So it's like you went in to start all this, and now you guys are fucking backing off from it. Like, no, we need all this extra money for government.
No, they want to take that money and put it in their bank accounts.
Exactly. That's all it is.
And that's wrong.
I think
Why should you be more wealthy than someone that actually does something for the country? You motherfuckers don't even write the laws. They don't even write the laws. They just kind of approve it and add their stupid fucking dumb shit in there where they get more money and then fuck over a lot of people that actually work hard.
Well, it's just like now they're going to be closing some Job Corps installations right around the world now.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Because if they're operating in a negative and have been, like I'll share this one right here. This shows why they're going to be closing some of them. Like low graduation rate, right? 38% graduation rate. Average cost per student, $80,000. Total cost to graduate, $155,000.
That's a fucking house.
Yes. Post-separation
fraud.
Recipients earn like say $17,000 annually, right? After they complete, if they get a job afterwards doing what they were trained to do, right? The total number of serious incident reports for program year 2023, 14,913 infractions, including inappropriate sexual behavior and sexual assault, right? 372. Acts of violence, 1,700. Breaches of safety and security, over 1,000. Reported drug use, over 2,700. Total hospital visits, 1,800.
All of that shit should be unacceptable.
Yes, and they've been operating in 2024. The program operated at $140 billion deficit. At 2025, it's projected to reach $213 billion in a deficit. So that's why they're doing away with some of them. They do away with the whole program. They're cutting out the ones that ain't fucking producing shit.
It makes sense. You
Yeah,
cut off the fat, right?
yeah.
We,
And
we
I've
used to
heard
talk
people
about
bitch.
this in the military, like you cut off the fat. You do what needs to get done and get rid of the shit that is pointless and stupid, that's time consuming, that
Because
has
if you got
no benefit.
low graduation rate under 40%, right, that's bad right there. But I've seen all these people on Facebook today, especially black people, right? Well, this is taken away from people. I said, dude, they don't realize that they're fucking this shit. They don't look this shit up of why they're closing some of them.
I remember in the 90s when I graduated high school, I was on a volunteer fire department in Indiana, and Camp Atterbury. It's an Army base. It's a National Guard base, huge base.
Yeah, been
right?
there.
I used to live literally right on the outside of it, and they had a job corps in there, and this is in the 90s. Yeah. They called all the local fire departments in because there was a riot there, and we had to use fucking fire hoses on these guys and these kids because they were fucking going crazy. They lit the buildings on fire. These are, I mean, you're talking World War II buildings, and they lit this shit on fire, and they're rioting because of conditions and stuff, but the conditions were actually good. They were just old buildings, but the conditions were good, and these kids were fucking taken care of. And they've done nothing but fucking cause problems there. I mean, it was a bunch of ghetto ass people, but it was that fucking couldn't make it in real life and go to real school, so they went to fucking Job Corps.
Because even with George Foreman with a Job Corps, right? That's how he got into boxing. Got taught how to box. Even he was going to get kicked the fuck out. They had rules and regulations for that shit. But if you're not producing shit, have results, then why should it be funded? Period. That's my take on it. And that's what people bitch about on Facebook. They need to look at why they want to cut the funding.
So in other words, they just want free handouts to do nothing.
Yeah. But they're always saying, because it hurts the black community. Well,
come on, it hurts the whole United States community.
Not just the black. Okay, the blacks are going to do what they're going to do, right? Especially in Chicago and all that shit, right? If they want out of that life, they will find a way to make it out. Guaranteed.
They have to change the way they do things.
Yeah, they got to change the way they think. And there's resources for them too. Job Corps is one of them. But would you still have instances of sexual assault, right? Sexual assault, fucking acts of violence. No, kick it the fuck out. Don't fund that area no more.
Well, this goes across for everybody. Yeah. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what sex you are,
exactly.
Or anything. It's like if you're not doing the right thing, why should you get rewarded for it?
Exactly.
Why should you benefit from something when you're doing something that's wrong?
Yeah. Well, just like that woman you see how doing the reels and all that shit, right? Bitch about hell, they had took away her fucking $8,000, $4,000 fucking welfare card, fucking quit paying for Section 8 housing. Bitch, you can work, get a fucking job. Because she had to sell her Beamer. She had a brand new fucking Beamer on fucking welfare.
What?
Yes, and she was a white woman. Had a brand new fucking Beamer, get Section 8 fucking housing, get like $4,000 in fucking food stamps. Yeah. So I'm just using that example right there. That's not the black community. It's the white community that does this shit too.
It's fucking everybody.
Yeah.
It seems. It's like nobody is not guilty. Everyone's guilty.
Yeah.
It's just, why do we keep on saying that it's okay to do that when it's really not? Yeah. You're screwing other people over. You know what I mean? You're screwing someone else over to get money. It reminds me of the Navy in the first classes, when first classes would fuck other first classes over to try and make chief.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That never worked with me, because when I was a first class and I was pretty senior, I told all the other people, I said, if you're going to try and fuck me over, you're going to be under my thumb. I'm senior to you. So if I fucking catch you, and this guy would have been 6'5", if I catch you trying to fuck people over, I'm going to find a way to fuck you up. You see that weak knee? You see that weak knee and shin right there? I'm going to crack it.
You're going to draw and quarter the motherfuckers.
No, I'm going to punish them, because you know what? If we're in the military
Key haul the motherfuckers.
No, like this is the way I used to think. I said, we're all in the military. We're all trying to protect the country. Why can't we have friendly competition? May the best person win. May the person who performs the best win and make rank, and then turn around and do great things with making that rank and being a positive influence of change if it's negative, right? But you have other motherfuckers called blue fucking falcons, buddy fuckers, you know, semen fucking wingnut so much that they fuck other people over to make rank. So when I got to a rank where I was like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And that's when I made chief. I was like, I gave a page 2 that the secco and nobody would fucking accept that said, you will not lie, cheat, steal, or manipulate others to get your fucking way. You're going to live the Navy core values of honor, courage, and commitment. And if I fucking catch you doing that shit, I'm going to take your fucking ass to mast and make you fucking pay.
Oh yeah, I fuck people over all the time, especially the officers, because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So I'd have to go around behind them and fix shit.
It was different.
And then they get their asses fucking laid out by the captain of the XO.
Oh, I know. Like we had, you know, the LDOs that I worked for, a lot of them were just first classes. They never made chief.
Yeah.
So, you know, they really didn't wanted to make chief, but the same thing that makes you a chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy will make you an LDO. The only difference is one runs the budget.
Yeah.
Guess what? None of the Navy really teaches you how to fucking use budgets and different pots of money to get your fucking equipment and your unit up to par. So it's like, it's so stupid. It's like the system is broken from the fucking top down because no one's willing to teach anybody anything on how to do it right because they want to hold on to that power and be a gatekeeper.
Yeah, they want to hold the rice bowl.
So, like, you know, I'm out of the Navy now. I've been out for almost 4 years. And, you know, I've been doing the food truck business for a few years now, right? And I've had a lot of people come up to me that started food trucks. And do you think I ever gatekeeped anything from them?
No, I don't know why you would.
Why would I try to purposely hurt some? It doesn't matter if they're making tacos. It doesn't matter if they're making potato salad or chicken or fucking hamburgers. I'm going to tell them what I know and how we are successful, and maybe it'll work for them.
Fucking chicken.
Or chicken, yeah. So, you know, why am I going to try and fuck people over? Why not be a positive influence for someone that may become really big and famous? Because someday they're going to come back and say, you know why? You know why we did this? Because Rocky and Heidi told us how to do it. And now we're millionaires. And now we're going to take care of those people because they supported us the whole time. When we needed to use a generator, when our generator blew up, we had a generator so we could run the food truck. When they needed gas, we helped them out. When they needed some guidance or some help in getting some food or beef or whatever, we helped them out. Because you know what? We don't want anyone to fail. And the problem is you have all these people all over the states that just want everyone else to fail because they failed in life. Because they weren't willing to do what it took to do the right thing or to be successful.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess it's broken down in those simple terms, and it's probably a little bit more complicated and more elaborate. But the gist of it is that's the actual truth. You know, and it's kind of heartbreaking to watch that and to see it happen in real life and then scratch my head like, why? What happened to people while I was in the Navy? You know, and then I started. Because of the racist. That's how people acted in the fucking Navy too. Only they were held accountable when they got caught, and they got fucking caught, and they got held accountable, and they went to captain's mast or court martial.
Yeah,
they deserved it. They paid. They had to deal with the consequences of their fucking actions, and nothing's going to get better until you start saying, hey, there is a moral code. This is right. This is wrong. These are absolutes. Start living the right way. Live within live within the freedom that makes everybody benefit.
You got people like me that are overqualified for a janitor's job.
Yeah, I know.
Well, in your area,
Oh yeah,
you're too white.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have been brown, Indian, whatever, right? You'd have a job.
Sometimes I believe, sometimes I don't.
Why should that even matter?
Well, I'll tell you, out there in Virginia, it does matter. Some places, not always, but
yeah, some places it does.
Like, I mean, it was in California too. I mean, why should that fucking shit even matter?
Because they turned it into a quota and they made the ESG score, and the ESG score rated you on the stock market. It still does. So the ESG dictates what your diversity is for your company. What do you do for environmental?
Yeah, for people that don't know what ESG is, can you give us the definition real quick?
So I'll pull it up. So ESG score, right? And the ESG actually has, so ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance, right? So this is becoming important for the investors, like I was saying, because they're talking about the ethnic performance of companies. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. They're looking to see how diverse the company is, how much money they spend on environmental, like whatever your company produces, or do you give back to this? Are you going EV, alternate carbon reductions, all of that. And the governance is that last part of it.
You know what's so stupid about that shit? Is we've seen people that made fucking engines that don't need to use gasoline or petroleum, that can use water, but those people get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Because it takes away from the petroleum.
The money.
Yes.
The money that these people are not going to have when they fucking die.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if you're transhumanist and you think your soul's going to go to another body that's synthetic or another human being, if that's even possible, which it might be, you're still going to fucking die and get judged.
Well, and on top of not so much taking money, but you look at the Rockefellers and the legacy that holds power in the world, not so much money, but it holds wealth through and power itself throughout the world. You got the Rockefellers themselves, and you got other groups out there, entities. Just because they've made money, they've amassed power.
You know what's so crazy about that?
Sorry, not to interrupt, but did you see what Bill Gates just did, or what they reported on Bill Gates with his money?
Giving it all to Africa?
Yeah.
What?
He just invested a huge amount of money in Africa.
It's like a couple billion.
Where in Africa?
I'd have to look it up.
South Africa, where all the genocide.
No, I'm sure. What was it in Nigeria where he gave everybody polio?
I think so.
And why?
Or it could be in South Africa where those black farmers, right, got a grant, got 30 head of cattle, right? The breed, right? The race. What they do? They fucking ate their fucking product. And then they wanted a grant for 30 more.
Yeah, he invested. It was like billions. I mean, look it up. It's crazy.
I just seen it the other day. I'll have to look it up again. I know what you're talking about, though.
You ain't ever gonna change after. It's still gonna be a shithole in some areas.
You want to talk?
You know what's a shame is like that continent has so many amazing, cool things. I mean, look at. They got lions, fucking elephants, crocodiles, gazelles, cheetahs, fucking whatever, right? They have all these amazing animals. And, it's just like, what happened?
Amazing animals that will fucking kill you. There was an article of a guy that stepped out of his tent to go piss, like it was like a tour thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a fucking lion ate his ass.
Well, just like when they built the railroad in Africa, right? Back in 1800s and shit like that. They had the man-eater fucking lions.
Yeah.
Oh, that would fucking
Ghost in the Darkness.
Train workers.
The Ghost in the Darkness with Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Yep. Those lions are actually in the Chicago museum. They're actually in the Chicago. They're in a museum in Chicago.
I mean, like if you think about like imagine Africa has all these natural resources. And I'm sure you all saw the movie The Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
I never knew that about Africa. I was like, that was one of the most fucked up movies I saw, where they were chopping people's hands and arms off and everything. Like, oh man, it made me sick when I watched it. It was a really good movie, but it was so messed up. And then you find it's De Beers. De Beers in England. The diamond trade is enslaving people and killing poor people for fucking diamonds.
Oh, speaking of Africa, since we're on that subject, I got one pulled up from Hodge Twinges, right? See, we get back to it here. God damn, where the fuck did it go? Oh,
it's $200 billion to Africa, but it's no specific area. Just,
but that's a shit ton of money. That's a shit ton.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was centers in Nigeria, what Bill Gates did for polio.
Woman right here moved to Africa. Why? She's regretting it.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the racism. Here, listen to what she has to say. I'd rather live in a neighborhood full of Klansmen than I move to Africa, a bunch of crazy Negroes. Yeah, I'd rather live around a bunch of white rednecks.
I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water.
You need to come with some more adjectives.
The bullshit animals and scorpions outside the house. It's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you.
Yeah, I seen that one a while back.
You know what that's an illustration of? The grass is not greener on the other side. But she talked about racism, and I'll say it again. Remember when I went to that Pierce the Veil concert with my daughter?
Yeah.
I saw people from every group and ethnicity there.
But she's talking about the racism over there too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But like, she complained about the racism in America, and it's like, dude, when I go to a concert to a band I don't even listen to, but I see that this band that I don't even listen to, that I don't really know any of their songs, and they've got everybody from every ethnic group and sex and sexual orientation listening to their music and singing along and standing ovation and clapping and all that. I'm like, where's the fucking racism that everyone's talking about?
Well, it's the same way. You go to a fucking football game, major league game, hockey game, right? Everybody gets along. Even Cubs and Cardinals fans get along.
Except for Dodgers fans. Dodger fans and
Yankee fans. Yankee fans are fucking assholes anyway.
They always have been, dude.
The Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Red Sox are probably the worst. I could be wrong.
Well, and I would go back to what Rocky said earlier about this is the white liberal women, fighting for Pakistan and all that shit. They need to go over there. Yeah. Go see if that grass is green on the other side then.
Yeah.
Go help them.
If you want to fight for Palestine,
what I really
Palestine, motherfuckers.
What I really want those women to realize is, why are the women treated like that in those nations? It goes back to Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Really
I don't get fuck the biblical shit. I'm outside of biblical shit right now. I'm talking about how they've treated, not through Adam and Eve, but how they built Sharia law through the Quran. Not Adam and Eve. That shit's built around Sharia law. Two big, totally different religious beliefs.
Yes, they are. They are totally different. They're different gods.
Yeah.
There's one God that sees everything, and that's Yahuwah, Yahweh, right? That's the God of the Bible, the Most High. Then you have Allah, and he can't see through certain stones and buildings. And it's like, so how does that work if he can't see everything? How is he omnipresent, omnipotent? You're present everywhere, you're all powerful, and you know everything. Omnipresent, omni-knowledge, and omnipowerful, or whatever. I got it wrong. But they're different gods.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're offended. They're different. They're not
That's
the
what,
same.
and that's what I'm saying. Like she thought grass was going to be green on the other side because she thought some. Same thing with these women thinking they can was queers for Palestine, and you're going to go over there and you're going to protest in Palestine.
I wish they could see what happened when I was on Bahrain in 2013 and they made me leave early to go get stationed in Seal Beach because in Syria was popping off and they were throwing gay men off of buildings and filming it and showing the splatter and the blood and the crushed bones and broken bones and bodies.
Yeah.
This was on BBC and Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
You know, and BBC probably wasn't as left wing as it is now, and neither was Al Jazeera, but they were showing that stuff. And I'm like, this is terrible, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want these people that believe that want to live this lifestyle to get hurt and killed for it. I would like them to stop because it's not conducive to making the human race live longer, right? Your preference is creating death and not life. So, yeah, you need to stop for that. But, you know, I'm not going to kill you because you do that.
Yeah.
But they'll do that in those countries.
That's the point. Like,
yeah,
Gilly's going back, you know, with that, people think they're being marginalized because of these areas being shut down. And it's like, no, you've done it to yourselves by acting certain ways. You know, Section 8 housing wasn't meant for you to live off of it 20 years. It was just a way to get back on your feet, get a job and get working again and subsidized.
But I think there was something that was told to these people that made them stay that way so they wouldn't have to work because humans are naturally lazy.
Yeah, they are. 100%.
Naturally, every man and every woman is naturally lazy. And I think it's part of the curse. Like you're going to work 6 days and have 1 day of rest. Yeah. It boils down to that. We don't want to work.
It's the Henry Ford model.
Yeah. Well, that was the 40-hour thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was 5 days. And now before that, it was 6 days. And, you know, it's crazy to see that stuff because it's like everybody's complaining about everything, but they're not seeing anything clearly. They're not considering all the other factors and details.
Remember the first migrant labor was child labor?
Yeah, that's terrible, dude.
I'm just saying they use cheaper means of workforce.
Yeah, I mean it's like when you talk about the wage gap that women talk about. It's like if the wage gap was real, why don't we hire all women because we can pay them less?
You know, they made a great comparison. This one WNBA player was talking about profit sharing. So they brought in the numbers that the NBA brings in, since we're talking about sports too.
Yeah.
Something like a few $1 billion, right? And the players profit share that amount of money. Mm-hmm. So when you look at what the WNBA generates, it generates a negative. So basically you would have to pay in to pay for the WNBA if you were profit sharing under that model. I was dying laughing, dude. I didn't save the clip. I wish I had.
But I mean, it's proving a point. It's like, look, we want you guys to be successful, but we don't owe you fucking anything.
No.
Either you entertain us and make us happy, or you get nothing for it. You know, like I've seen these videos where women like, I don't owe you anything if you buy me a drink. I don't owe you anything if you open the door. I don't owe you anything for being a man. Well, let's reverse that. Do I owe you anything because you're a woman? Or do I owe you complete and fucking difference? If you're indifferent and don't care about me, why should I care about you? Why should I care about your well-being? Why should I care if you're in danger? Why should I even fucking care about your fucking name or where you came from? You don't care about me. I mean, if we want to go down that route, if you want people to be cold, you're talking to the king of being cold. I can turn the love off like that.
Here's one.
I'm sure there's a lot of other men and a lot of other people that can turn the love off and become numb in the snap of a finger. And you're not going to like them, but because you wronged them, they're going to show you and mirror your fucking actions and behavior to you. And then you're going to complain about it? No. You don't get it both ways, fuckface.
What do you got, Gilly?
I got one just for Thumper. I mean, it's for everybody, but
no shit.
This Thumper as Bigfoot, right?
What?
Bigfoot?
Since Thumper is hairy, right? Just watch. Just fucking watch.
He's been helping me clear the underbrush all season. Today's his last landscaping job. All right, ribs are looking thick today. Wilbur lived full and flavored. Rest in peace. Okay, now that we got the ribs going on, just hitting them with some wild herb blend. If it smells edible, it's seasoning. Low and slow, that's the secret. Breaks down the collagen so it's fall off the bone tender. Takes time, but hey, I've got a few hundred years. Found this BBQ sauce back at that abandoned camp last week. Yeah. Expired in 2019, but it smells fine. All right. Ribs are done. Mouths are ready. Someone asked how I got so good at cooking. Try feeding a forest full of picky eaters for 200 years. You either get good or get eaten. All right, that's it for today.
That is fucking hilarious, dude.
I seen that earlier today. I was like, I was going to set the Thumper, right? Through message. I was like, no, I've saved this motherfucker.
Dude, I got to tell you about this one. There was episode 200 from Blurry Creatures, right? And they had this guy named Duke. And this guy named Duke, I think he lives up in the Northeast or the northern Midwest area, right? And he saw Bigfoot and his life changed where he hunts Bigfoots and all that stuff. And he says that I think he's able to communicate with Bigfoots, like they're actually real. And he said that the Bigfoots and the Dogman is like the police officer of the forest. And the Bigfoot is like this free agent. But the Dogman enforces all the fucking laws. And they've had a war with each other. This is how crazy the podcast is, but it's really fucking interesting. It's just that was fucking hilarious, dude. That made my day. The Bigfoot fucking talking about cooking a pig. Oh my God.
I mean, think about it. Especially when Thumper has his beard grown out, right? I mean, if he took his shirt off, he'd still have like a fucking rug.
Hey, Thumper, you got red hair, right?
Just on my beard. Everything else is darker.
Well, there's this going theory that they say the red-haired Bigfoots are the most aggressive and mean.
I'm pretty aggressive and mean, so
there was one dude, it was from the confessionals, and it's like, I shot Bigfoot or I killed Bigfoot. And this guy said he got 45 feet away from a Bigfoot that was charging him, and he blew its fucking head off with a shotgun. And then he ran and called the U.S. government, and the government came out there and said, why the fuck did you kill the most endangered species in the world? And he's like, we're going to put you in jail. He's like, how the fuck can you put me in jail if you say this animal doesn't even fucking exist in the first place? And this happened, I think, in 2011 or 2013.
Wasn't the Kandahar giant covered in red hair too?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And actually, in Afghanistan, the Afghanis worship the giants and sacrifice goats to them, and they dye the goat's hair red.
They also dye their own beards red too.
Yeah. I don't know, the Kandahar giant, when you get the description of the Kandahar giant, all we know is he had red hair. He was 12 to 15 feet tall. He had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes and 2 rows of teeth like Goliath from the Bible. But they didn't say if he was red-haired like Malcolm X in black, or if he was red-haired and white skin, or Middle Eastern skin. They never tell you that. But it's crazy that red hair is like this aggression thing. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know.
I've heard that from Irish people and Scottish people too.
Well, they like to fight a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like to sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I got a little bit of red in my beard. It's more gray right now, but
I got a little red in me.
Shit, I'm the one of the family that fucking, with my goatee growing out before I got all the gray hair, it was red.
Yeah.
Everybody else was black. I was the one that had a red goatee.
Mine's actually reddish. It doesn't really pick up on here, but my shit's reddish.
Well, now you see the gray, the white, my shit now. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
my goatee, my beard, and stuff is all red.
about a year and a half ago, I dyed my beard brown, like my hair color. I guess it wasn't. I tried to find the closest to my brown hair, and my wife's like, "It doesn't look natural. I like you with gray."
Rocky went with that just for men shit.
No, I went to Walmart and bought something because I was like, man, I want to see if I look younger.
you bought the cheapest shit too, did you? Would you sweat it? Did it fucking run? Would you sweat?
No.
Like makeup?
No, it's just like
Yeah.
it like within 2 weeks, dude, you saw like brown and then you saw gray coming out. So
Man, do you remember the Ron Popoli fucking hair in a can? Those old infomercials spraying that shit on the fake hair on the bald spot.
Hair in a can.
Yep, hair in a can, dude. I'm glad.
And people were buying that shit too, man.
Oh yeah, all of his stuff they were buying, man. He was better than Billy Mays at being a fucking salesman.
what years were those?
That was the 90s, 80s, and 90s.
80s,
Of course,
90s.
because back then guys still wanted to have girlfriends and wives.
Yeah.
Now it's like no. It's crazy that guys are saying no, but I can understand why guys are saying no.
You know what?
And deep down, it makes me sad.
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Gilly. You're gonna say I
Because
got one for
men
that.
were being fucking, instead of just shaving your head, if you're bald, shave your fucking head, right? Just shave it. Don't be vain. Try to fucking get Rogaine, all that bullshit.
Get you a toupee.
Yeah, I mean,
the toupees are the worst. You know. Oh
we
my
had a
god.
guy when I was stationed in Seal Beach from 2002 to 2005 when I met Heidi and then we got married, right? We would stand gig together. And there was this guy that came in and he was a DOD, DON worker and he had a fucking comb over. Like Donald Trump, but he was bald all right here, right? But he had a comb over that he tried to cover everything over with, right? And like we would kind of giggle. But, you know, I understood he was just trying to like probably get a girl, but his head, he didn't have the confidence to shave his head and just be like, fuck it. I don't have hair. I lost my hair. It's genetic. And it came from my mother's father.
Yeah. Like my brother. You know, my brother started going bald in his 20s, right? You know, changed his head now. He's mad at me because I could actually grow hair, and I shave my head.
You know, I'm completely surprised that I'm as old as I am and I have this hair because my dad basically lost all his hair, and my little brother, he lost all his hair, but I don't know if it's because he wore a hard hat all the time.
No, it goes. You look on your mom's side. It's all through. The baldness runs on the mother's side. Always.
Yeah, but somehow, you know, I do have a receding hairline, but I have a lot of hair. It's thinning out, so eventually I'll probably lose all my hair and I'll shave my head and I'll look fucking weird.
I don't know that. I think that's crazy too because my uncle never lost his hair. My grandpa, when he got older, lost his hair, but my brother was like you, Gilly. He started losing his shit around his 20-year mark, and he's been bald ever since. But the crazy thing is, he can grow a full fucking beard. And he's like hairy all over like Thumper there, but all this shit up here is gone.
Yeah.
Well,
dude,
I had a senior chief that worked for me, right? He's a senior chief now. He might be a master chief, but he was a chief when he was the chief that helped me when I was transitioning out. He got to security on the Abraham Lincoln after we finished the deployment in 2021 or 2020. In January 2020, he reported on board. He lost his hair when he was 18.
Yeah.
And so he shaved his head. And I said, you know, you got a shaved head. And a lot of the sailors didn't like him on the boat because he was a bit of a dickhead and an asshole. But he had a right to be because he saw how fucked up everything was, right? And I said, dude, if you want to get with these people and connect with the MAs, go get that fucking handsome Squidward painting from fucking Spencer's. You know what I'm talking about? The handsome Squidward.
Yeah.
He actually got that and he put a poster of it at our desk in our office, right? 'Cause the Chiefs had our own offices. And I was like, it started helping everybody. It was like an icebreaker. So he could start talking to sailors and they wouldn't be afraid to approach him. But it's like, it's funny. Like he lost his hair. And then my stepson, he started losing his hair when he was like 20. Like he's lost all his hair. Like he has to shave his head and he grows like a beard and he looks really good when he shaves his hair. He looks good, right? And he's got a beard. It's kind of cool looking. I'm like, dude, you got to shave your head because if he doesn't, it looks like he's got a greeny weenie on his hair. You know what greeny weenies are, right? Or what was that guy that was the Mestec Master at Arms when me and you and even we're all cranking?
Fucking Harry. TM1 Harry.
No, it was another guy. He'd call him even.
Oh, before Harry. Okay.
It was another guy, and he would call it the greeny Bowini, and even was laughing about it.
Oh, the Filipino fuck. Yeah, the Filipino fuck. Yeah.
I don't think it was Filipino. I think
we had a Filipino. Yeah, before Harry, it was Filipino. Yes.
But yeah, it was like it just his hair looked like that. So I'm like, dude, just shave it. I mean, I'm sorry you lost your hair, but you can do other things to make yourself look better. Like just accept that you don't have the hair, shave it off, and just be confident.
I mean, some people they do. I was in high school with a kid that was bald, going bald. He had a big old bald spot back here, had hair right up here, but right here, I mean, he had a big bald spot right there. He caught a lot of hell over that. He did.
Well, I mean, I like when I first got here, there was a girl that worked at Walmart in Granite Falls, where I'm at, and she had that condition where she was hairless.
Yep.
Her whole head was bald. She looked like the chick that was V'ger from fucking Star Trek, the motion picture, the chick with the no hair. And I was like, no, dude, she was confident, she was fine, and I think she had a boyfriend. The boyfriend loved her for her. He didn't love her.
Yeah, that happens to some women too.
That was cool to see that a guy loved her for her, and that was like that might mean she's actually a great person in real life,
Well, if he just wants to role play, then he can buy her a nice wig, right?
Yeah.
Especially if he wants to pull a little hair from behind, get you a wig.
But dude, there's a strong, successful male story about a girl. She's a wife and she dies, right? She gets cancer, she dies, she loses all her hair. Her husband and her have a great marriage. I think they were married like almost 20 years. She died, and what did she do before she died? Because her husband was rich. She said, watch out for all the women because they're going to be after you after I'm gone. But she would put on wigs and wear different outfits. Like she had a blonde wig, a red wig, a black wig, a brown wig. She was a different girl every day with the same face. That's role playing right there.
Well, why you think? Look at a lot of black women. A lot of them wear wigs.
I know.
Well, there's a lot of white women with hair extensions. That's the big thing for them. Is hair extensions.
And then, have you seen that crap where they're like, are people allowed to braid their hair? If they
say that stupid shit.
Why not? Why can't you braid your hair? Everyone can do it if they have hair that's long enough to do it.
Because every culture has been doing that for fucking thousands and thousands of fucking years, people.
I know.
Well, and I do got a story for Rocky that we were talking about church and shit. They're starting.
Give me a second. Bro.
I'll give you a second.
You got to fill his cup back up.
Right. My cuppeth runneth empty. Yeah, the whole shit with cultural appropriation it's
fucking bullshit, man.
It's just so fucking stupid. It's like you want to bitch about crying over spilled milk, dude. It's like there's nothing that you can't find something to fucking bitch about, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, okay, next they're gonna say fucking white people can't fucking have milk, right? Because black people invented it, right? Was first ones to make a cow or some bullshit, right?
Is that why we invented chocolate milk?
Yeah, or strawberry milk. The gays would be like, we invented strawberry milk.
see that guy that was like they were making fun of him because he was talking about strawberry milk coming from pink cows.
Yes, that it was actually vegan or something like that.
Yeah. And the guy, it's the five guys that are there, duck something, but they're just like blinking their eyes, like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
You know what
they're out
pisses me off about the white, black, and everything thing? Like, everybody comes from 3 different dudes, right? But there was 1 dude before that. But then there were 9 dudes before that one. And when you look at Ham, Shem, and Japheth, Ham is Africa. Shem is the Middle East, and Japheth is Europe. And it seems like the 3 sons of Noah that everyone comes from nowadays, one was white, one was black, and one was Middle Eastern. Now, how the Asian part came in there, I don't know, but they say it's either Hamite or a Shemite, Semite or Hamite, right? From Ham. And it's like, you motherfuckers, you're all fucking cousins. That's why you can mate with a black woman and have a human baby. That's why a black guy can mate with a red, an Indian woman or whoever, and they still have a human baby because they're all humans.
Well, technically, though, certain parts of that area is Asian. That's where that comes in right there.
Like the Sinites in the Bible is China. That's why in the early 1900s, they had the Sino-Japanese War. That's the Sinites and the Japanese. And I think the Japanese, I don't think they were called Javan. Jdan from the Bible. I can't remember what their actual tribal name is.
But see, even Russians are Asian. That's part of the Asian continent. Indian is Asian. So they're all Asians if you want to get down to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, everybody looks a little bit different, but it should only matter how you conduct yourself as a person. You know what I mean?
Well, there are some Asians that do look alike, though. Quite a few, actually.
It's crazy because a lot of people do look alike. I've seen people that look alike, and they're from 2 different lines of people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you look at like a Mongolian, and they look like some of the Native Americans.
Fucking Mongolians.
You know,
that's because of Attila the Hun right there. Fucked everybody.
Yeah.
No, it was Genghis Khan.
Well, Genghis Khan still.
Yeah, not Attila.
I mean, he just fucking the conquered people. He fucked their women for more bloodline.
That's called war brides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what was it you were going to talk about?
So I was watching a video the other day, and I think it was on Taylor the Fiend. Yeah, here, I'll just fucking pull up the
looking for men of faith.
This one. You're gonna fucking love this one because this is becoming more and more prevalent now.
Oh, I probably have something to say about this too. I haven't watched this video.
So Christian woman hits the wall and complains she is lonely.
I love Taylor the Fiend. Hey,
so
Taylor
as he's talking about this chick right here.
Yeah, hold on.
Talking about her being a Christian. Go ahead.
Hey, Taylor, we love you, bro. We're not stealing your stuff. We're using it as an example because you know how to speak womanese better than most guys do.
Yeah, woman is
translated, right? He can translate what they actually feel, but not what they actually mean, because they never say what they mean. They only say what they feel.
Yeah. and it's funny because he's going over, and it's now these women are starting to infiltrate the churches, look for Christian men, right? And they're like hawking through there to see who's single, who's married, who's what. But these women that have hit the wall are now fucking. They're going, instead of going to bars, they're going to churches
and supermarkets too. I seen one yesterday. This woman's like, "Where's all the single men at the supermarkets? What time do you all go?"
Or Home Depot,
serious, dude?
Home Depot. They're talking about going to Home Depot.
I know about Home Depot because there's Cosmic Verse, right? And he does like these videos where like women are trying to find husbands in Home Depot, Lowe's, and all these other places. It's like, girls,
I might have that.
You're like now.
I might have.
And then the one chick was complaining.
Yes, I got it.
What? You're gonna show?
It's the one about the chicken supermarket, right?
All
You're
right,
gonna love
then
this one,
we'll
right?
play the Taylor the Fiend thing next. This is actually really fun.
Sorry, but
When are single men grocery shopping?
we don't own rights to the music and blah
Saturday
blah blah
morning.
bullshit.
Don't have rights to anything. You know what?
On my schedule,
Talk it real quick, Jay.
but don't end up.
Hold on. What?
There is a copyright tool that YouTube has.
Well, I know. They
So
just
I think if we use that, it
we
helps
have
us, it helps us cite the videos like citations when you're writing a college paper.
Well, that's
We don't
well,
get it removed for that.
well, what it is, you can either mute it, have her mute it when they find it, right? Blah 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 bullshit, right? That's what we've been doing last few times when they found something.
If we were able to take the music out and just hear the girl talking, I think that would be better. But
the way the video's made, that ain't gonna happen.
Like that's Emily King, and I think she has like millions of followers.
Oh, yeah.
And she's
There you
pretty
go.
much on point a lot of stuff.
Any men? Or what are the grocery shops that you're shopping at? Are you at Winco? Are you at Walmart? Are you at Safeway, Fred Meyer, New Seasons, Trader Joe's? Am I looking for the single men grocery shopping on the wrong days, times? Are you going every day after work to get fresh groceries? Is that when I should be going? Is that at 5? I don't know. Single women want to know. I'm happy to approach you in the grocery store if you're not wearing a ring. I just need you to be there when I'm there. So I'm happy to adjust my grocery shopping schedule to accommodate.
I'm sorry, guys, to blow your cover, but they are there on weekday nights, and they are only there for 15 minutes in and out max.
Yep.
And they're probably buying food for 2 to 3 to 4 weeks.
It's like when I grocery shop, if I don't have my groceries delivered, right, from Walmart, if I go to the local store, right, dude, I'm on a fucking mission. I know what the fuck I want. I'm in and out of that bitch as fast as I can.
Dude, like because of what I've seen, when I go to a grocery store to buy groceries, if I see a woman in an aisle that I have to go down, I'll go to another aisle and get something I need to get before I go there to make sure that person's gone. Because I'm trying to avoid trouble. I'm trying to avoid a confrontation. I'm trying to avoid these people because I don't know what's going on inside their fucking head. And
I got stopped by an older Filipino lady, asked me what bratwursts were.
Oh, she was trying.
She was like, had smoked sausage in there. I'm like, these aren't bratwursts. She's like, do you know where I can find them because they ain't helping me? And I was like, they're typically between these aisles and the meat. I said, but let me look really quick. And there was like bratwursts there. I was like, well, these are beer brats. She's like, well, will the alcohol cook off? I was like, there's not really alcohol in there. And yes, if there was, it'll cook off. So these will work. Yes, they'll work, lady.
You can boil them in fucking beer on the stove, be fine.
Dude,
it's not gonna hurt.
You know who her Just Pearly things is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She had a video, and I think I sent it to my wife, and it was about the church thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy got on, and she was talking to a guy from South Carolina, and she's like, are there any wives in South Carolina that go to church? He's like, I am 100% sure that 0% of the women that are going to church are wife material. 0%. He said all they do is in their 20s, they go party and sleep around. Then they reach a certain age, and they try to find a husband. But all that partying and sleeping around completely ruined anything that would create a good, conducive relationship, a loving relationship between a man and a woman. And so I think guys are waking up, and of course the churches are crumbling. Like the Protestant churches are failing. The Catholic Church is going back to more male leadership. But the only church I know in the Church of Jesus Christ that's not failing like that is the Orthodox, the one that actually was started by Jesus Christ and his disciples.
Which is what Russia's bringing back full force.
Yeah. So it's weird to see that because, we're all taught the Reformation was good, sola scriptura, just the Bible itself, no one's interpretation. But after people interpret it, they interpret it in ways that it's not supposed to be interpreted, right? Because they had 1,500 fucking years of saying this is what it is. So it's really weird to see that. Like, are you going to do the Taylor the Fiend thing now?
Well, I can hold on. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, Taylor the Fiend's great, man. He says no. He says Australian no. I love the way he says no. I can't imitate the Australian accent.
Women who go to these
And I might.
Being single.
All right. I think I got it where I want it at.
Okay.
Being lonely is because you're 29 years of age and you're in Christian communities, by the way. Now, let me just say, guys, Christian communities have been infested with womanists, okay? There are actually a lot of women who go to these places specifically to hunt for men, especially as they're pushing 30. And I'm not saying that this woman is a fake Christian or anything. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying there are a lot of women who go there to these places who are essentially imposters, who are just looking for men of faith, looking for stable guys who are willing to provide for them. Now, the reason why this is so hitting her so hard,
so that that he goes on, and talks more about this woman and what she has to say, but you can see that small snippet there that he's talking about what these women are doing, just like you were saying, they're looking for somebody that's stable, and these are the places that they're trying to find their meal ticket, because they were out doing everything in their 20s and they're like, oh shit, everybody else around me's got a family and, I need something stable, and they're never going to be stable because they were already unstable going into the relationship.
The smartest women are the ones that want stability and not drama. They want the boring life that's quiet and not full of fucking drama and heartache.
That's why a lot of women don't get along with other women.
They never do in the workplace. They don't.
No, dude, every time that I was someplace where there were women and all that stuff, there would always be some kind, like I got to the ship and there was a second class girl and a first class, and the second class girl hated the first class. And she would put things, she would write to the CO in the CO suggestion box to try and get this girl in trouble. And so I had a deal, like a lot of the drama that I deal with on the ship, really, most of it came from the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of incidents. Like the first incident I dealt with, it was that guy. The guy I told you about that was the MA3 that we kicked out of the MA rate because he was trying to lie, cheat, steal, and manipulate others. And me and the Master Chief called him on it because he said, my dad's a lieutenant commander. Like, well, give us his fucking phone number and we'll call him right now. He wouldn't do it. So he disobeyed a fucking direct order from us, right? And I railed his ass for being a fucking lying piece of shit. So I had that one. And then I had another incident where there was a guy that was picking on another guy. And this guy was from Squadron, but he was an MA in the Squadron. And the other guy was in training. And this dude was really fucking weird. But he would put complaints in and cause a whole lot of fucking drama like girls do. So I railed both their fucking asses in the office and said, you motherfuckers better not fucking talk to each other again. You better be fucking professional. I don't want to hear any fucking goddamn shit from you again, or I'm going to fucking take you both to mast. Do you understand me? They're like, yes, chief. So after that, I had incident after incident after incident that was just the females. And, you always hear that, women are always banding together to
no, they don't.
They don't. You always hear that, but in real life, they don't do that. And the fucking weird thing is like girls, even though they're friends, are still competing with each other.
Yes.
And it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are you competing? Like, okay, say this woman's married and she has a good marriage, and the other woman's got a boyfriend and it's kind of on the rocks. There's still one girl still going to compete with the other one. And it
Well,
makes absolutely no sense. Why can't you be happy for the person that's having a good life and try to improve your life in the same respect?
Well, the problem with that is a lot of times what you see is the married one is jealous of the one that's maybe dating somebody and is living vicariously through her, and then the one that's dating is jealous of the one that's married because she has the stability.
Yeah.
So they're both jealous of each other because women these days, and I'm going to throw that out there, a lot of women these days are not happy with fucking just doing the family life, and they get fucking bored super easy, and they, instead of working on their fucking marriage, they would rather go out and do other things like a single chick or a chick that's dating a couple guys, because she doesn't want to be held down yet.
You know what it's called? It's called fear of missing out.
Yep.
And the problem is if you have a woman that is in a stable relationship that has a husband that loves her and she loves her husband and they work well together, there's always someone trying to throw fucking rocks in it. So I've had people like that tried to do that with me, and guess what I told them? I said, if you fucking influence my wife and ruin my marriage, I'm gonna get my wife and I'm gonna come after you and your fucking family. I'm gonna show you no mercy because you know what you did was wrong, and you may not get held accountable, but I'm going to send you to the place where you're going to be held accountable, and I'm not going to give you a chance to say a prayer.
But get back to
I'm
the
going to
women.
I'm going to make sure that you don't have time to repent. And that's evil for me to say that, but you know what? If you're willing to do that, then you need to be willing to take the price that someone's going to make you pay for doing that crap.
But the
I'm
women.
sorry if I sound mean, but I don't give a fuck.
But when it comes to
ruin other people's lives,
women in the workplace, I want to roll back for that one a little bit, right? Because I got something to add to that one too. Power plant I worked at when I got in the warehouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And had one older woman on first shift with me, had a girl that I worked with in operations, third shift, right? Because she liked third shift. Well, they both wanted to be the top fucking head in the warehouse. So those two did not get along because they wanted to be the top fucking head. That's where a lot of the drama comes from. Women, they want to be the top of other women too. That's where a lot I saw come from. They was trying to be the fucking top head.
What I saw was a lot of that happen on the Fife. But we kind of brushed it aside, right? Because that was the 90s.
Well, really.
But then after the Fife, I saw the same thing in Seal Beach, where, there wasn't as many girls there as there was guys. And guys, we love women. We don't just objectify you. We actually love and care for you, but we wish you'd do the same for us, but you never reciprocate. But anyways, there would always be kind of like a pecking order. Like this is the prettiest girl and all the other girls follow under, right? But it really doesn't work that way. They always try to nip at each other. But luckily, when I met Heidi hung out with me. She didn't hang out with these other girls. And I said, don't hang out with these other girls because they're hoes. So I was like, you're my friend. I love you as my friend. This was before we were even anything together. And I took care of her as my friend, and I loved her as a friend because you should love your friends, right? Like what's that verse from the Bible? No man hath love unless he lay his life down for his friends. Jesus said that. And that's the kind of thing that I went to thinking about when she was my friend. She was my only friend there, and I was her only friend there. So it worked out that way. But every other command I went, it was the same stupid shit. And it was exhausting. And, I had enough of it in 2006 or 7 with that one girl when I was at first class, and I gave her a midterm counseling, and I broke down everything in the eval. And I said, do you do teamwork? No, you talk shit. You're a zero. Your fucking significant problems. I made her fucking cry. And I said, if you don't fucking toe the goddamn fucking line, shut your goddamn fucking mouth forever. Stop trying to be a girl that kicks ass and takes names when you can't even get qualified.
Qualifications? What? Those are sexist.
No, they're not, man. Dude, there were girls. There were girls on the five, man. There was this IT. I think she was an IT2. She made IT1. And then a year or two later, she made ensign.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
But that didn't always, yeah. But
you know why she succeeded? Because she probably did her job and she did it right and she did it better than everyone else there, whether they were a guy or a girl. She did her job and she got her qualifications and she got overqualified.
But you had more women in topside rates because the engineering, not every woman was fit out to be an engineer.
No, I mean one of my most favorite women to work with was Veronica. Veronica was great to work with, man.
Yeah, but she didn't get qualified either.
She didn't, but you know what? When they would pair me up with her and we'd have to go clean the bilge or do PMS or whatever, she would assist me in getting the stuff done. So I knew how to do the PMS right, and she may not have known it because I had a little mechanical knowledge, but she would help me out, and then we would be successful together, and she would just help me out, and it was a great working relationship because she helped me out. And we got shit done. And then we went home, when we got off, she went and hung out with her friends and I hung out with you guys or whoever it was. Right. And that's the way it should have been.
But yet she got qualified for watches too. And she never did.
Yeah.
McKeever, GSC3. I don't know if she made second or not. Even she was qualified.
I think she did make second.
I think she did too.
I don't remember. I don't entirely remember. I remember I used to call her Val Venus, like the WWF wrestler Val Venus. I called her that. Yeah. But
I think she even got qualified.
I remember Murillo saying something about her being his boss for a little bit.
Well, because she actually was third class where he was.
But I will tell you this: I had one Master Chief that was a female, and she was a lesbian. And she was black, and she was a Master Chief. But you know what? She did her fucking job. She was a good sailor in the fact that she was a good Master Chief that was level-headed, and she did things that was right. She did not favor one over the other. Because I would have told her, I said, I'm not going to work with you if you do that. Yeah. Exclude me from everything because I don't care no more. But, the other chiefs that I had, they were white. They were white women. And they would just be completely shitty chiefs. I had a senior chief in Gitmo, and she told me she had a meeting with all the first classes, right? And this was 2008, 2009. And she's like, I could replace you guys with all E4s. So you want me to work hard for you, but you're going to insult me and try to get me you're going to try and manipulate me to do better, but you're going to treat me like shit and you think that I'm a piece of shit? Fuck you, bitch. So guess what happened to her? She wasn't successful. And this was the time where there was PTS, perform to serve in the Navy, right? Remember that shit? Well, you guys don't know. Maybe Lil Tate knows, but there was perform to serve, PTS.
I remember perform to serve.
And she sat on 30, 40 fucking applications for perform to serve from the MAs. And we didn't know it. I didn't know it, right? Because we sent all the paperwork up. So we was like, okay, they went it up. They sent it to the detailers. They sent it to fucking NPC or whatever it is, right? I come to find out she's gone a month or 2 or 3 weeks. Another chief takes charge. We have the fucking base XO come in, rip her desk open that she worked in, and those were all the applications that she sat on to fuck over a bunch of sailors. That's the kind of shit that I saw.
That's crazy.
I didn't see a guy doing that. I saw a girl doing that. And that was why would you do that to people? Yeah, some of the sailors are good and some of the sailors are bad, but their evals should speak for themselves, right? Your eval should speak as to how good you are as a sailor, but she just sat on everything. And I was like, this is completely messed up. And then I went to prior to that command, that's when I dealt with the girl with the midterm counseling. And then I went to Bahrain, and in Bahrain, I had some messed up fucking male chiefs. Like this guy that I had to work for that I completely disagreed with all the time. I was like, motherfucker, I don't care if you're a chief. I think you're fucking wrong. And I was the only first class to ever tell him, I disagree with you because you're wrong. And here's why, because this instruction says this and that and this. He's like, well, okay, I respect that. But he got fired from my division. They put him in training division and made the girls that worked in training division cry because he bullied them all. And then come to find out that girl, she ended up making chief and senior chief, and she just retired right now. So I guess she did a pretty good job. But, I've seen both male and female fuck over people in the Navy for no fucking reason at all, just because they had the power to do it. So I told him, I said, I'm no one's punching bag. I will punch you fucking back. And it made me think of Uncle Buck. Remember Uncle Buck, the movie Uncle Buck, where he punches a clown and then the clown comes back up because you had those toy clowns that were like, I was like, I'm going to punch you back. And so, as a first class, that probably made it so I couldn't make chief earlier. But I stuck to what I thought was right, what I knew was right. So, I saw people from all the things, but a lot of the incidents that I saw, it was a lot of the females doing the wrong thing. And I don't know why they would, because, I'm thinking, okay, she's a good leader. She's going to do the right thing by people. And she ends up fucking over 30 fucking people. 30 sailors that probably would have been good because they made third class all got PTS'd out because she sat on their packages. Didn't send it to the detail or NPC or whatever it was, the Navy counselor to to NPC or whatever it is.
Well, that should have been the fucking NCC tower that fucking NC take care of that.
Yep.
All that bullshit should have been. That's why there's Navy fucking career counselors, Navy counselors.
99% of them suck anyway.
I ain't no fucking shit.
It could be that command, though, that she was maybe appointed as a career counselor for that command. It might not have been.
They might not have had a real one there yet.
The senior chief that screwed everyone over in Gitmo, she was the department chief. She was the department LTPO.
But did you have
the highest ranking enlisted MA?
Yeah, but did you have like a Navy counselor there, like actually rated one there?
We did, but
then he should have been one taking care of that, not her. If you actually had one of those, guys there.
Remember routing sheets?
What?
Like everything after
routing sheet.
Routing sheets. Yeah. I'm sure Little Tate will understand this. You had routing sheets for different categories, and they had different people in the chain of command you always had to go to.
Yes.
And never the fucking same. And I think that's why they always got fucked up and it always got lost, because no one could be consistent with anything.
That's crazy.
Like it should go from the work center supervisor to the LPO to the LCPO, to the department LCPO, to the assistant department head, to the department head, to the NC, to the XO, and to the CO, and then back to the NC after it's been approved by the captain of the base, or the captain, whoever it is, and straight off to NPC. Naval Personnel Command, right? That's the way it's supposed to work, but that's not the way it went. And so, I just it made me mad because there were some people that I was like, this guy could be the MCPON. We trained people that we thought, you know what? I may never make chief, but this guy will make master chief and he'll become the MCPON and he'll do good for the Navy and for the country. But they PTS'd him out. They PTS'd her out. They PTS'd him out because they were, I don't fucking know. So it was just like retarded. So Yeah, I mean, I've seen all this stupid crap, and then all the other crap with people trying to kill themselves because their wife's cheating on them and all that stuff. And it's like, man, I tell guys now, don't get married. Don't get married. Break up with your girlfriend if she's serious because she'll probably cheat on you because you're going to be gone. Don't put her on your page 2 or page 4, whatever it is, SGLI. Do not give her money if you die. How many other guys is she fooling to do that with? You got to think about that, And so it's bad that I say that, but it's probably true. No one wants to realize that or actually say, well, wow, this girl's seeing a bunch of different other guys and telling us she loves us, but because we have different duty days and all that stuff, she's getting our SGLIs. So, one guy's got 250, 250, 250, 250. So you got 4 guys you're seeing that all going to give you $250,000. And if they all die, you get $1 million and you cheated on all 4 of them. You robbed them and fooled them.
I was slack, and I should have found me some Navy chicks.
I think. Huh?
I said I was slack, and I should have found me some Navy chicks. Get their SGLI.
Oh yeah.
It only works if they like you more than you like them.
Well, I got First Army over here. I can start.
Yeah, because we know those Army girls, they like to fuck when they're on deployment.
Well, my thing is I gotta, so I need to find me a fucking sugar mama.
That's probably not going to happen, dude.
It won't. But
it won't.
I need fucking money for a divorce.
I saw a video today of a girl saying, I want a sugar daddy, but I'm never going to give him sugar.
Sure.
And he better respect me and give me everything I want. I'm like, are you serious? Do you really think that's going to work?
Thumper, here's what you do, brother. I know there's some old widow out there that's got a lot of land out there in Iowa.
Yep.
You get in good with her.
Well, I'm going to start hitting up and volunteering at the nursing homes and start taking care of some people. You go in and be like, hey, Ethel, you got your teeth in today?
Well, you know that the over 50 women are making themselves look like they're 30 and trying to entitle themselves like they're 20 again.
I know.
Dude, that is real. I mean, it's like, dude, I see videos of girls that are in their 60s and 70s trying to date. It's like,
if they look good, I'll date it.
Like, you can really become a grandmother in your 30s. It's like you think that.
Well, look at most of the girls, right? That's our age and younger. They are grandmas.
Yeah.
Because they was popping babies out in high school or right after high school, and then their kids had kids early. Yeah. It happens. And Rocky, you're getting that. Your kids are getting old enough when you're going to be a grandpa soon, probably.
Here's the dirty. It's the dirty truth. It's not really dirty. It's just the truth. But women hate this. It's like they can do a survey of guys, and at least 80 to 90% of the guys will be like, I like younger women. I like women that are from like the age of 20 to 23. That's when they look the best. But they get mad because when they were 20 to 23, what were they doing? They were doing the stuff that made them single at the age of 29, trying to go to church, trying to get a husband, trying to fool a guy to marry them. But now guys have kind of wised up to it, right? And now they're mad because they're not getting the attention they used to get. But it's so funny because as a guy, did you get a lot of attention or compliments when you were growing up? No. You were told, do better. Be a gentleman.
Well, every time I fucking sexualize a younger kid, right? I'd go fucking smooze the fucking old ladies at the bakery, right? At the grocery store. I give them a little smile, get fucking free cookies, free donuts.
Well, yeah, I guess you're a cougar chaser.
I've always liked older women, man. Always.
Yeah, the funny thing is like every girl I dated before I married my wife was older than me, by 6 months to a year older than me. And then I married a girl that was almost 4 years younger than me.
Shit, the first time we was in Australia, first time me and you went, Rocky. Shit, I had a 38-year-old hitting on me, and I took her home when I was 18. Yes, 38-year-old. Yes.
I don't remember that, dude.
She didn't look the best, but she had a nice little body on her. I didn't care.
It must have been when I had the flaming Lamborghini and set the bar on fire. I don't remember that because the fire was more it's more in my face than that. I don't know.
Well,
and everybody gave me hell, right? Because she was kind of ugly. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm 18. She's 38. Okay, I don't care. I just want to fuck. That's it.
My first wife was 3 years younger than me. My second wife was 2 years younger than me. My third wife was 9 years younger than me.
You need to go older now, motherfucker. You need to go older now. Fuck the young ones. Go with the older ones.
No. What you need to do is get your life straight and improve it.
Oh,
improve your life and make your life good. And then if you meet a woman, if she doesn't make your life better, don't have her in your life.
Well, I won't.
You know what I mean?
Me, I won't.
Like I mean, I always see these videos where women are like, "You have to earn me. You have to pay money." It's like, what? Are you a prostitute?
I'm not doing that. I don't.
No, I'm not going to give you
game.
money. I'm not going to pay for your food. I'm not going to do anything when I know there's a possibility that I take you out for a dinner and you get a steak and you take it home to you. You give it to the other guy you're fucking.
I wish I had a reel, but I wish I did delete it. Right. It was about this couple going out to dinner, right? And the check comes, and the guy goes, "We fucking?" She goes, "Nope." He goes, "Dutch."
Oh, yeah, I remember that, dude.
And the girl, what? And she was eating steak and lobster and all that shit. It's just
I remember seeing that video.
But you remember that motorcycle fucking John David Mann did this poster, right? Girl wanting to ride, ass, grass, or gas. No one rides for free.
I think that was in the movie Dazed and Confused too.
Yeah.
Where's everybody at?
A little taste probably cooking supper.
Okay.
Thumper's right there. He was.
I'm on my
phone. He merged with his.
We've been on for about 2 hours and 30 minutes, boys.
Not actually. Not. Yeah. Ain't too bad though.
No, I mean I've been having fun. We've been talking about crazy stuff that probably no one likes, but I don't care.
We've had a few views, so.
You want to hear some crazy shit?
More Bigfoot cooking pigs?
Nope.
Oh.
I had to go pay my half my retainer, right?
Yep.
For my lawyer.
Yep.
So my lawyer's retainer is $3,500.
That's actually not bad, really. That's not too bad.
I had to come up with $1,750.
Yep.
She thinks it will be done before I have to pay her the other $1,750. But the paperwork I had to sign. So my lawyer's $350 an hour, basically, is what she charges.
Yep.
Which is about normal. But if it makes it to trial, it's an automatic $4,000 a day is what I will be billed.
Yeah.
$4,000 a day.
At that point, was it even worth getting married?
Fuck no. But I think it's fucked up. I think it's fucked up that I have to wait longer because the courts don't have time to divorce us. They're keeping me married longer than what I need to be. Yeah, I'm going to be losing out on my BAH, or not my BAH, my disability. I'm going to be losing money on my disability when I am divorced. And then if it goes to fucking trial, I have to pay $4,000 a fucking day.
How is that right?
And I said, well, the reason why I'm getting a lawyer is because she said she's getting a lawyer and was going back on what we had agreed upon, which was doing it civilly and without any lawyers.
Have you ever known any of them to keep their word? Are they
Nope.
ever held to their word?
Nope. And I asked
Are they
my lawyer,
ever held to their vows?
I asked my lawyer, I said, can I go after her for your fees then? And she goes, yeah, but the courts won't give it to, they won't do it because she doesn't make enough. I'm like, well, I don't make enough. Like, what is it? I don't make enough to pay your fees. And so if she doesn't make enough, then fucking make her pay for them and work for it. You know?
That's how you know the system is completely corrupted and needs to be fucking dismantled. And every lawyer and judge that's a money grubbing fucking whore needs to be put in their place, which is a ditch. Sorry, but that's the truth. They deserve to be put in a ditch.
I think it's fucked up that she can't afford my lawyer, but yet I can't go after her for the fees, even though she answered and said she didn't want to use a lawyer when I filed, because I filed uncontested divorce, no lawyers, no children involved.
So what you're saying is they favor the woman over the man.
Yeah.
So feminism, I don't give a fuck if you're mad. Feminism completely gave the advantage to women. So now that men know that women have the advantage in everything, do you expect men to even want to get involved anymore?
She would have never even been able to fight
a smart man will never get married, will never live with a girl, never have a child with her.
I'm glad I didn't have a child with her.
He'll never even let her bring a stayover bag at home. He'll just screw her in a hotel because it's no one's home.
Oh, hey, I know, hate to cut in on this fun conversation, but I got to get ready and get off here and start cooking dinner.
Okay.
So
yeah, we're going to end it soon anyways.
So I will talk to you guys later and take care.
Yep.
Adios.
All right, bud.
That's crazy, dude. I mean, that doesn't seem like it's even right or fair. Where's the equality?
I think I should be able to go after her for that kind of stuff.
So
for my attorney fees. You know?
Well, you used to be able to in certain states, but your state might have changed that too.
You know what? We need to tell guys? We need to tell them, look at the marriage laws and the family law and the common law in every state before you make a decision to even get involved. It's fucking sad that I have to say that, right? But It's the truth. You need to look at all that stuff to see if it's even worth it. No matter how much you like that woman, she can still ruin your life.
But if you're,
the fact that she can do it, she may not do it, but the fact that she can actually do it is 50-50, like the fucking parachute. Would you jump out of a plane if you knew the parachute didn't work half the time? No, you wouldn't. So men need to take this on board. I wish I could reach millions of people, man. I really do. And think about this. If you're not going to jump out of a plane because it's a 50% chance that you're going to survive if the parachute opens, why would you put everything on the line for a person that has the ability to completely ruin your life?
See, this could have been completely avoided if I wouldn't have put her on the
This has been an ongoing problem since probably 1969 when no-fault divorce became legal.
But the thing is, if that lawyer's any good, it shouldn't go to trial at all.
I don't think it will, but I mean, my God, who can afford $4,000 a day?
Because but
I already had to borrow money from my mom for the $1,750.
Yep.
You know, it's like, fuck, I have a son and I got a house and I got bills and everything. I can't come up with $3,500 just out of nowhere.
Yep.
You know, and so she said, well, pay me the $1,750 now. You might not even have to pay me the other $1,750 because to be fair, she's the most expensive lawyer in town.
Yeah.
She's the best. She is the best. I have a friend that's a deputy that works at the courthouse. She said she's never even seen her lose. And she's been there for the deputy. she's been at the courthouse for 22 years. And this lawyer, my lawyer, has been practicing for 24. So she's like the one to not fuck with. But I also, my buddy that's a JAG officer, he texts me back and he's like, you need to get Maria Pauly. And that's who I got. And he's like, that's the one you need. So 2 people that are involved in that kind of stuff recommended her. It's just, I hope I don't go to trial, you know?
But her retainers fucking slow, right? For divorce. Because my divorce retainer was $5,000.
Oh, my other one for my second divorce was $2,400.
Yeah.
And then my first divorce, I didn't even have a lawyer.
Yeah.
I didn't do shit.
The whole system is completely messed up, and I really think it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit that I think personally, if it's uncontested, if you sign paperwork saying it's uncontested, that's the way it has to be. Once you sign that paper, you shouldn't be able to change your fucking mind.
But they're allowed to change their mind because they're not held to their word.
It's bullshit.
That's actually goes in the court of law. That's why the sub states have that cooling period, right? Men could do it too. Could change their mind and say, no, I want to contest this now, right? Same way women can too. You know, courts
the cooling period is so that way if you decide you don't want to get a divorce, you don't go through the whole process and then have to get remarried and all that.
But they can still contest it too. You know, both men and women can do it too. You know, most time, but if you do it like I've seen the judges here in Missouri, right, go after the one, whether it's a man or a woman, right, that signed the paperwork saying they didn't want to contest it. Then at the very end, they wanted to contest it, right? The judge hammered their ass. You know, but
I have a funny feeling that when it's all said and done, the judges that judged wrongly are going to be judged very harshly when they're judged.
But you know why
they don't think that's going to happen to them, but it's coming to them sooner or later.
But you know why divorce is so expensive, right?
Money and retirement funds.
That's not the saying. That's not the saying.
What is it?
Because the reason why they're so expensive is because they're worth it.
I guess, yeah. I mean, but when you go through that kind of stuff, is it even worth it to even try to do it?
No. If you're married, you're going through a divorce, at least you get your peace of mind back.
What's so crazy, dude, is like I have a pretty good thing right now, you know, with me and my wife. But I'm telling my sons, don't get married. Don't stick your dick in crazy and ruin your life.
They're all fucking crazy. Some are just a little crazier than others.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but the crazy is accepted because that's their hormones. But when men are horny because of their hormones, we're at fault. There's a double standard with hormones. If she's on her period, she's allowed to act like a bitch, right? But are we allowed to want to have sex because we're horny because of our hormones? No.
You tell them like, hey, I don't give a fuck.
That is a fucking hypocritical double standard that no one ever talks about.
That's why you put a towel. If they're on their period, you put a towel down. You're like, no, or in the shower sex. Like, no, we're having sex. Come on, let's go.
No.
Yes.
But anyways, we probably need to get off, boys. I mean, talking. I guess we use this as kind of a venting session, right? Because everybody's going through something, and we all talked about what we thought, whether people like it or not. We're free thinkers.
Hey, we had a few views today on it, but yeah, if you want to take us out.
I mean, I want to say this before we leave. It's like, girls, we love you. We just wish you would do better. Because someday you're not going to get anything because we know what you're like. We see right through it. We see through the crocodile tears and the manipulation and the lies. And the more you continue to do that, the more you will push us away. The more you bash us on the internet, the more you will push us away. The more you will make it so we don't want to be involved with you, help you if you're in trouble or anything like that. Why would we want to do that if you automatically say we're all bad and we should die?
All right, before you get on another rant, Rocky, take us out before you get another rant. Because that's going to lead to another rant, I know.
No, it's just like, hey, it's kind of a good point right there. All right, here we go. Pfeiffer's departing.